Well, good afternoon. Happy 1 o'clock on the dot if you are Eastern Standard Time. Look, today is a special day. And you see I am sitting here. You already saw her name in the chat. This is my girlfriend. This is one of my best friends, Lucretia Chapman. She is also the intercessory prayer leader with the E-Church that we pastor. And we are here today dressed in our gold because gold is the color that you wear.
Yes.
To recognize Childhood Cancer
Awareness Month.
Awareness Month.
Yes.
Awareness Month. And I have Cree here. So you're going to hear me call her Cree because Lucretia is, if y'all don't know, you got to be formal. And y'all see, you like, why is she sitting? Because this is my girl. So I'm sitting country. I'm comfortable. Cree, get comfortable. You are at the house. You have been here before.
Yes.
And we are getting ready to have a conversation. Cree is going to take us through this journey because I realize that there are a lot of people like Cree that have went through this journey, and you don't know when this journey is a journey that's going to come knocking at your door.
No, you don't.
You don't.
You don't.
But when the journey knocks, the best thing we can do is be prepared. So, Cree, you are the mother of 3 amazing sons, correct? 2. Did I just give you a child?
You did.
I did?
You did.
What child did I give you? It probably was Chris, because you always taking my child, Chris.
It's okay. You is my child. I have 3 then.
Yeah, you like 3. Isaiah and
Javian.
So
Yes.
you have 2 amazing children.
Thank you.
All right. Chris, I just took you back. But one of your children just had a birthday yesterday.
He did.
He had a birthday.
Isaiah, 19.
19 years old.
Yes.
And Isaiah went on this journey. Isaiah is a cancer survivor. He is.
Praise God, yes.
Amen. Amen. So I want you to walk us through.
Okay.
And the reason we're doing this, guys, hey there, Sean, the reason we're doing this is because, again, you don't know when that journey can impact you. As we were preparing for today, I was on a call with the board, and it hit me. I said, guys, I got to jump off because we're getting ready to get on this call. We're celebrating Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And I'm like, oh my God, my sister is a survivor. So we want to make sure that we honor the survivors that are here. Praise
Absolutely.
the Lord.
Yes.
But then we also want to empower people with information and knowledge so that if that is a journey you ever have to go on, whether it's a child or it's an adult, that you know that you're not alone. So, Cree, walk us through that journey. How old? How old was Isaiah?
Isaiah was 4.
4.
4 years old.
That's the age of my grandson.
He was 4 years old. Yes.
Okay.
It was December 2010. And it was right at the beginning of, you know how you have the Christmas break?
Yes.
So I had picked him up from school, we getting ready to do Christmas break. I had taken the week off, and basically he was fine until a couple of days later he had a fever. So I just assumed, maybe he caught something at school, at the daycare. And I thought, just give him some medicine and he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't fine. So it was several days I could not get rid of this fever. So then I realized, okay, we need to get him to a doctor. Took him to the doctor. They thought that it was just an infection. So they gave us some antibiotics. And they said it's going to take the antibiotics for 5 days.
Okay.
Normally, in most people, when you do antibiotics, you start to feel better within the first 24 to 48 hours.
Right.
He did not. And the fever we would only see the fever typically at night. During the day, he was fine. Had a lot of energy. And then I started hearing him like, and I was like, Isaiah, can you breathe? You okay? Yes, Mommy, I'm fine. And he's just playing like nothing's wrong. But I kept hearing it. And I was like, something's not right. So, called the doctor. They said, well, just keep giving him the medication. So now we're crossing over into January. And we kept going back and forth to the doctor. They had did a chest x-ray.
Okay.
And still kept saying, he has this infection. So I'm thinking, okay, he has an infection. Well, it got to the point, and this is where your parent and mothering comes into play. We know our children.
So can I pause right there?
Yes.
So I want to say this to some parents that are going to be listening to this later. not cancer, but my grandson, he's 4, but when he was around, coming into about 2 years old, my daughter said something is a little off. She knew Gabriel.
She knows her
and
son.
she knew that something was off. They knew he had autism before the doctors diagnosed him with autism.
Yes.
So as a mom, what you're saying is you were paying attention and you knew something was off.
I knew something was off.
Okay.
And it got to the point where they kept just saying, keep giving him the medication. Well, the January, we were getting into January, and I realized, okay, they're predicting a snowstorm.
Wow.
And I said to myself, and it was a Saturday, and I was like, you know, we better get to the emergency room just in case. Like, I don't want us to be stuck at home and can't get out. So, so I took him to the emergency room at Eggleston, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
Okay.
And they said to me, has he had trouble breathing? And I was like, a little bit, but he keeps saying he's fine, so I think he's fine.
Yeah.
So next thing I know, they come back and they said, well, he has fluid in his chest. And I was like, fluid in his chest? He's not coughing, he's not sneezing, there's no congestion. Where could this be? All it was a fever.
Wow.
And so they said, okay, well, we're going to run some more tests. And in my head, I went, you know, we'll probably stay the night. They're going to drain this chest, and then we'll go home and we'll be fine. Well, they said, well, now we want to do some additional tests. We want to do a scan. So they went and did the scan. They came back. And, you know, I watch so much TV drama when it comes to, like, ER and Grey's Anatomy. So you know the conversations, right?
Right.
Well, they were like, the doctor would like to see you in the conference room. Wait, what?
The conference
room. So that's when I knew it was more than just fluid. And so when she told us, she said he has mass of tissue in his chest. And at the time, I did not know what that meant. In my head, I went, okay, it's just a bunch of tissue cells or something that's causing drainage, and they're going to just drain this fluid. And then when his dad said, what do you mean a mass of tissue? And that's when it hit me. And I literally just screamed cancer. And they said, well, don't, not yet. We don't know yet. So when I tell you the first 24 hours, his dad and I, we were in complete denial. We kept saying, you sure you have the right child? You sure this is his chart? Like, we were literally in denial.
Yeah.
And once they took us to the oncology floor, that's when this thing started to get serious. And so that's when, you know, I would always hear my grandmother say, there are times when your mama can't do anything for you, your dad can't do anything for you, your friends can't do anything for you. That's when you have to really trust and believe in God. That was my faith moment. Because as a parent, as a mom, your child gets sick. You just want to make them feel better. I couldn't do anything to make them feel better.
Woo, Cree.
Yes.
So let me bring this back. You are in this stage, starts off with just not feeling well, hearing the subtle cough. And we know with every person, it's something different that you know, but you knew something was off.
Something was wrong.
And I want to say that to people that are going to hear this live stream and watch it later, listen to your body.
Yes.
Listen to your body. And you know this, so you're in at the hospital. And this is new because I've never been in these shoes. I thank God I've never been in these shoes. So when you said conference call, I'm like, wow, they take you out of the room.
They take you out of the room.
So in a conference room. And once you guys used to, the faith walk, like we hear that all the time, right?
Yes.
But now your faith is there, and you got a 4-year-old baby.
4-year-old baby.
So what did that, from there, you guys are doing what next? Like,
the next step was after the acceptance and after realizing there's nothing that I could absolutely do, I just started praying.
Wow.
I did, because I didn't know what else to do. And of course, we reached out to our parents, our families. They came down, started praying with us and consoling us, because it was stage 3. So when you hear stage 3, you're like, oh my God.
So when he was diagnosed, it was already at stage 3.
It was already at stage 3.
Wow.
And I started as a mom, I don't know why we do this to ourselves, but as a mom, I started blaming myself. And I started asking the doctors, well, what did I do wrong? Is it the cookware that I used? Is it the food? What type of food that I was giving him?
Yeah.
You know, and I remember him getting hurt at his birthday party, and I said, you know, he hit his head several months ago at his party on some, you know how you have the kids' playground stuff. I said he hit his head there. I said, well, maybe when he hit his head, it kind of, I don't know, did something. Like, I'm grasping for an explanation. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, whatever it is, don't do that again because it's hurting my son.
Yeah.
And the doctor said, ma'am, it's absolutely nothing you did wrong. Nothing. They said, we can't explain it. So then I started blaming myself again. Well, maybe I should have came to the emergency room first instead of going to the doctor. And they said, if you had brought him here first, more than likely we would have thought it was just a cold and sent you home. Yeah. It takes time for it to grow, but this type grows very fast.
Wow.
Because I was asking, like, how long has he had this?
Right.
They said, we don't know.
Yeah.
But it seems to be growing pretty rapidly. It could have just been the last 2 weeks. It could have just been a week.
So sitting in that space of, because now, you know, I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you, and I'm hearing a lot, I don't know. And isn't that a tough space to sit in?
It is.
Because our minds want to have an answer. Our minds want to be able to point to something. And y'all, it goes beyond even things like medical diagnosis. Even when we deal with stuff in life, you see people get angry with, you know, and they take it out on folks that had nothing to do with it. It's like, I just got to have something to point to, a person, a thing, to make it make sense.
Make it make sense, yeah, absolutely. And that's what we live off of is, you know, typically you see something that's wrong and you're like, okay, well, if I know that this is what caused it, I know not to do that again.
Not to do it again.
But sometimes there's just no answer.
No answer.
Yeah.
And now when you go back to this whole thing of faith and prayer, it's like, that's where you really have to have that source to tap into.
Absolutely. Because it was literally to the point of nobody else can help me.
But God.
But God. That's it.
What did the journey look like? So you get the diagnosis. He's 4 years old, stage 3. What is that journey looking like throughout the years? Like,
so it was 3 years of chemotherapy.
Okay.
And you know, in my mind, I never knew a person that had cancer before, so I never knew what that journey looked like. So I always assumed that chemotherapy was only done at the doctor's office or the hospital.
Okay.
But chemotherapy also happens at home.
Really?
It does.
See, now I didn't know that. I'm learning, y'all. I'm learning. Hey, Julia, my sister from South Carolina's watching. Hey, Julia, big sis. So you guys get chemotherapy at the hospital, but also at home?
Yes. So at the hospital is when they have to put the medicine into your veins.
Okay.
At home is just taking a combination of pills. And just pills that actually are used for other things too, such as arthritis.
Okay.
He took a lot of steroids.
Okay.
So it's just a combination of pills at a specific time.
Okay.
So they gave us this roadmap to follow.
Wow.
And so once they gave us the roadmap to follow, they gave us the prescriptions and everything. Then it was just following the roadmap, giving it to him at his designated times and things of that nature.
Okay.
So when I tell you Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, I know it's probably be a shameless plug, but they have the best staff.
Oh my God. Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
Yes.
Shout out. Wow.
Yes, they have the best staff.
And that's got to make a difference. Like, I have one of my sisters works in the emergency room in North Carolina, Tanetta. And we were talking the other week, and she's like, I'm volunteering, and I'm working also part-time at this other hospital, and it's for cancer patients. And she said, Tab, they're always like, Tanetta, you know, why you spending so long? Make your rounds, do what you need to do, right? Because she's a phlebotomist. She draws blood. And she said initially she was just trying to get from patient to patient to patient. But then a patient would stop and say, yeah, this is what I got going on. And she said then she talked to another patient. And they were like, yeah, today is just such a great day because they're in a crossroad of every day. We hear it. Yeah. Live each day like it counts, right? Tomorrow's not promised. Correct. And she's face to face with these people. She's like, Tab, I'm looking at them. Hey, they're hairy. And they get the concept of life. Yes. In this moment. Yes. And she's like, and I no longer can rush. So not only to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, but to all of our medical people out there that have this bedside manner. Absolutely. Like, it's important. It's important. It is what did you do? You shouted them out for a reason. And y'all, we're in our gold. We're not twinning it because we girlfriends, right? We're twinning it because gold is the color for Children's or Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Yes. So this month I need you to find you some gold, honey. Go find you some gold. So having a person at the hospital and you shouted them out for a reason. I did. What was the impact that made for you?
And it wasn't just for me, it was literally for the entire family. Okay. So of course, once you get a diagnosis like that, they sit you down. I cannot remember their titles, but they're kind of like life supporters or life something. Okay. And it's these young women or men that come and they just kind of educate you about what's going on. And not only you, they educate your kids.
The cancer.
The patient as well as the siblings.
Oh.
I had to, they wanted me to bring his brothers. Okay. Because at the time I had a bonus son. Yeah. So that's
why I get 3. I'm like, I know it's 3 children. Because you know what?
My bonus child.
Your bonus child. And here's the thing, because we don't, and Cree and I, so we don't say stepchildren. Like, we literally say bonus. I'm like, as you're talking, I'm like, I know she got 3 sons. I'm not counting it off. I'm going to give you Chris for them. Okay, that makes sense. I birthed 2. Okay. And I had a bonus. All right, thank you. All right, welcome back, baby. Okay, but they educated the siblings.
They asked us to bring them, one day after school, bring them down so that they can educate them as to what's going on with their brother.
Let me tell you how that right there, and I keep connecting the dot because number one, when you said 4 years old, I'm thinking about Gabriel, right? My grandson. But I'm thinking about the journey because everybody's journey is different. Somebody is watching this and your journey was different. Right? And it may not be cancer, but it could be something else. Yes. And Gabe, when he got diagnosed with autism, I remember they told me, and, they were like, his mom and dad, they're like, we haven't told the family yet. And I'm like, okay, because they had to process it, right? Rightfully so. And we all, my sons, we all met Liddell was stationed, the youngest was stationed in Colorado. So we flew out to Colorado to go spend some time with him, all the boys. And you learn a lot about how, this is the best word I know, how selfish, sometimes selfless, sometimes mean we can be, and you don't realize it. We're in the car, his siblings don't know. And somebody did something, and one of my sons said, stop acting like you retarded, like you on the short bus. Oh, no. And he said it, and I remember Alex kind of just tightening up, right? And they don't know that their brother has a son that has been diagnosed. Their nephew with autism. And he was like, yeah, you just act like you're stupid. You don't know how boys do, right? Yeah. And Alex and I remember doing this. I said, can we tell your brothers? Have you told them? He's like, no. Yeah, let's tell them. So we became the ones that were educating the family on autism and the words that we use and, how that can come across. And they weren't intentional of trying to, cause harm. Right. But we say things and we don't realize. We don't realize
how it may impact someone.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't know what they're going through.
And you don't know.
Because everybody don't share.
Yeah, yes.
I didn't share Isaiah's diagnosis with everyone I knew. I just shared it with those who I knew who knew God.
Woo! LaWanna Hay says.
And I shared it with those individuals who I knew who would pray. and not gossip.
And not gossip.
Yeah, because everyone is not necessarily as connected to Isaiah as you would have been if you were there in that moment.
Yeah.
As our sister Dita was.
Yes.
She was the first person I called to pray with me.
Woo.
She was.
Dita, shout out to
Dita,
you.
she was
Yes, Dita is a dear sister to us. Used to be co-worker. I don't work there anymore, but used to be co-workers, so y'all still work together. Yeah. But a praying woman.
Whoa, yes she is.
Woo.
She dropped everything and started praying with me while I was in his bed in his hospital room, and he was asleep.
And he was asleep.
And I was just tears just streaming.
So the education creed, what else did the staff provide?
Oh wow, a lot.
Okay.
So in addition to the education to the boys and as well as to Isaiah, they also have a social worker to come visit.
Okay.
So let me tell you this.
All right.
I was like,
it's helping somebody. Look, because some hospitals we've seen, like you said, the TV shows. And we've seen some of the stuff, and you're like, oh my gosh. And I know some people that have went through cancer treatment, and it was, when they said it, it was like paperclip moment. I know if I'm ever in a situation. They were like, you don't leave your loved ones in the hospital by themselves. No. You don't know. So even if you find yourself in that position, or you have a family member or friend, knowing what best in class healthcare looks like.
Yes.
It's not just the insurance, it's the people that provide that care.
Yes.
So as you listen to this story, paperclip some of this stuff so you know what to say. Well, where's my social worker you just mentioned? What did the social worker do?
So in addition to just a lot of comfort and a lot of encouraging words, because she works there, so she's seen this many times.
Yeah. But
she provided a lot of resources in terms of like the things that I didn't think about. They gave me a huge, and I should have brought it. They gave me this huge binder, 3-ring binder, and I was like, what am I going to do with that? And she said, so that you can keep all his records in one place. Ooh. Then she gave me a bag, a tote bag to carry it in. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to need this. Lo and behold, I fill that binder up. It is so thick with every document that they ever gave us. Wow. She also provided us with financial resources.
So talk about, I want to pause here because you know that's one of the initiatives with the church. And let me say this, guys. I'm getting ready to ask you some financial questions. Okay. And I'm asking Cree because not only, now I'm about to do a plug. Okay. Her profession, her job title, she's a controller. And not like, now this ain't, some of y'all controllers and you ain't got no degree. Not know what I'm talking about. Let the people be. She's a controller in the financial aspect. That means she's over financial departments. She does the taxes. She does the P&L, the balance statements. She's looking at all of these numbers. It's your area, and you're licensed. Yes. Hallelujah. And she does this for an international organization that we used to work at. You want to say the name of us? No, we ain't say that. Okay, we ain't say that. She does it. But she does this professionally. She's been doing it for over 20-something years.
26 next month.
20. So I'm gonna ask you some questions because on the side, when I tell you guys, you got the other week, I was like, you gotta have somebody in your life, a girlfriend, friend, boyfriend, husband, whatever, that you can talk about details. This is the person where I'm like, Carrie, okay, these are credit cards, and she's like, oh no, we got to pay that off. And she put them glasses on, it's real. Once a year, and she has never charged me. And even when I try, she's like, no, I'm just doing this for you. The other people she charged. It's a friendship love, and I thank you for that. Absolutely. Because you walked me out of $60,000 worth of credit card debt. You walked me out of some life skills. She the one that told me buy another. I said the other word. She didn't use that word. She said, I wish you might buy somebody else another gift. And you could be buying it. You could pay off your car. You could do that. So you were so practical. Yes. And one of the things when we were talking about having this call the other day, I said, you made a statement and you said, Tab, a lot of people don't have insurance. Yeah. And when you said that, I was like, I didn't have insurance on my kids. I had insurance on me as their parent.
With the life insurance.
The life insurance.
Yes.
So that if something happened to me, that they would be taken care of. But I never thought to get insurance on my children when they were especially 2, 3, 4 years old.
Oh, absolutely. As soon as they're born, you need to start calling your life insurance agent and get life insurance.
And life insurance.
Absolutely, because one of the things that life insurance, and another plug,
yeah,
is life insurance awareness month as well.
All right, be covered. Don't be leaving people trying to get no
Right.
chicken dinners. And we're talking about, and these are tough conversations, but as a church, these are conversations that are part of not just ministry.
Right.
It's a part of
it's life.
It's life.
It's life.
Right?
It's real life things.
So we thank God you didn't have to have life insurance.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because Isaac, like we said, just celebrated birthday.
Yes.
Nephew.
19 years.
19
Wow.
years.
But life insurance is really important because a lot of people don't want to think about children passing away, but they do.
They do.
It's unfortunate, but they do. And you want to be prepared for that. And so one of the things that people have to understand about life insurance is that it's mainly focused on your health and your age. So it's really good to get life insurance when you're healthy and when you're young.
Wow.
For it to be affordable. And so that you're not denied. Because a lot of times when you have pre-existing
Yes.
pre-existing health issues,
Yeah.
it's not like the medical insurance where they can't do that anymore. But with life insurance, they can still deny you, and they mainly deny you for major things, whether it's cancer, heart attack, stroke, diabetes. Sometimes with diabetes, they will accept it. However, your premiums will be a lot more than what it would be had you done it before you became diabetic.
So when Isaiah was diagnosed at 4 with stage 3 cancer, did you have insurance on him at that time?
Medical insurance, yes. Life insurance, no.
Wow.
I didn't think about it.
And it makes...
I honestly just did not think about it.
Wow. Hey, Tiffany and Diana.
But it's really important to do that for your children.
Financially, you said the hospital, the social worker, that they did some financial education.
Wow.
What did that
When I tell you this was a blessing for us, because with the hospital, the very first bill we got was over $90,000.
Hold up.
$90,000 for 1 week of stay in the hospital. 1 week. Just one.
1 week.
1 week.
Over $90,000.
Over $90,000.
And you had medical insurance.
Thank God we did. Yes. So the medical insurance took care of that. But then we started getting other bills. So anytime like the doctor visit the room, they charge you.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I was oblivious to that at that time.
So when you say visit the room, they walk in the room?
They walk in the room.
Uh-huh.
They may listen to your heart, your lungs, and things of that nature. They may, say a few words, and then they walk out.
And that's a charge.
That's a charge. Yeah. And until you meet your deductible,
that's out of pocket.
It's out of pocket. So what the social worker did, because initially when the social worker came, I thought it was more so she wanted to talk about our psychological health.
Yeah.
I didn't want to hear that at that moment.
Because
she came in like day 2. We still processing. We're in the hospital.
Right.
And I'm waiting on the doctors to come do a biopsy to confirm. And so she says, okay, well, I'll come back. So several days later, she came back. And I said, let me listen to hear what she has to say. Thank God that I did.
Ooh.
Because she gave us some financial resources. Ooh. So one of the things that I'm very appreciative of.
And hold on.
Okay.
So let me pop right here.
Okay.
So at this time, Isaiah's dad, he is working. He's professional in the school system. Mm-hmm. You are professional in corporate America. Mm-hmm. Look, it don't care where you work.
It does not care.
Color your skin.
No. How much money you make.
How much money you make.
Doesn't matter.
A $90,000 bill
yes, ma'am.
is a $90,000 bill.
Yes, ma'am.
And now when you take this and you bridge, and I keep jumping in because I just want to really help you guys understand why we're doing this. Not just to talk about, okay, it's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, right? But it's these things that come along with it that can impact any of us. Mm-hmm. So when you bridge that today, and I hear, like I got on one of my sons, and he was like, Mom, I can't afford to have insurance. I said, what you mean? He's working a job. He's like, no, I can't afford it. The medical insurance. And I'm listening to him. I'm like, no, but if you get sick, he's like, but I don't normally get sick. He's trying to process, I got to pay rent. I got to pay my car note. I got to pay car insurance. I got to take care of the food and take care of, he's looking at these tangible bills that are right in front of him. He's like, I can't afford another dime to come out of my check.
So that's when people have to really sit back and look at their finances.
Yeah.
So, and that's when I tell my clients, okay, I want you to go back the last 3 months. Look at your bank statement. What are some items that are on there that you did not have to spend?
Child, if I finance another Uber Eat delivery, you done got in my business
I'm just
again.
saying.
It's real.
It's real.
It's real.
No shame to Starbucks, but people like to buy the $5, $10 fancy coffees. Why?
Yeah.
Especially when you're saying, I can't afford the basic things that I need to survive. Because medical insurance is not there just for sickness.
It's there for wellness.
It's there for wellness.
And preventative.
Preventative healthcare. You know, you need to go to the doctor. They can catch things before it becomes a problem.
Oh.
And you never know. You might end up in a car accident. It's not because you were sick. It's because somebody was recklessly driving.
Yeah.
Anything could happen. You could have a fall and break a hip or a leg. You just never know. So it is important that you really just comb through your finances. And it's unfortunate that things are expensive as they are today.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to medical care.
Yes.
However, I would encourage people to really do a really good look at your finances and just see what can I not be doing. If you're using cable, okay, do I really need it?
Right. And there's so many free things out. Yeah.
And we have to be careful with streaming.
That's true.
Because people will get 5, 6, 10 different streaming services.
And you might as well have got cable.
Might as well.
Yeah.
And so you have to ask yourself, well, what else can I be doing with my time? And it also unfortunate that sometimes people, just their one source of income is not enough. And then that's when I encourage people to, you know, look for another source of income. Whether it's another job, whether it's building a business.
Look, hey, my Chris. How are you? This is my bonus mama. Wow.
And so you have to find other sources of income so that you can afford the medical insurance. Because it's important, especially if you have children.
So you're in this place. You find out 4-year-old son, stage 3 cancer. Social workers are there, and you talked about the staff, like amazing staff. Now I want to take you to the support.
Before you go there, I just want to finish with the social workers.
Yes.
So in addition to the resources as far as like, you know, how to cook for him, because now his smell and taste may be different.
Ooh.
So she gave me this book and things of this nature.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, with the finances, I did not know that there's funds out there for patients like Isaiah.
Really?
So it was called the Katie Beckett. It's a Medicaid program.
Katie Beckett?
Katie Beckett. Apparently Katie Beckett was a patient and her parents fought or they asked for funding.
Wow.
So the government, I guess the state of Georgia, I don't know if it's state of Georgia or federal or not, but they now set aside funds specifically for cases like Isaiah. And I kept saying, and it's okay that we have a decent income. I said, but we still can't afford all of this, but we are employed. She said, absolutely. It's specifically for parents who have income, but still need assistance for finances. Once we got him set up for that, we never paid another bill.
Great.
They took care of everything. Everything. Ooh. That was the blessing.
Wow.
That was a huge blessing for us.
What's the name again? Katie Beckett. Okay, so I'm gonna plug this, right? And this is y'all. This is free conversation. And Cree Nova, she was like, okay, so what do you go? I was like, I don't know.
I like structure.
Yeah,
she was like, no, we just don't flow.
You see, I'm sitting here all comfy with jeans.
Yeah.
So when you're looking for places to donate to give to, as I said, you know, I thank God. For my friend, I thank God because I have family members that have children that have been impacted by cancer and they are survivors. That's why I thank God. Survivors, right? And oftentimes we wonder, what can we do? Financially, sometimes you're looking for a write-off. Give to these, this is Katie Beckett.
I don't know if Katie Beckett is an organization or if it's just a bill with the state.
A bill with the state. So
you know
we'll find out. We'll find out.
But you can definitely give to organizations like Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Yeah. They're always looking for, ways to raise funding. To raise funding for their different programs that they have for the kids. Because one thing with Isaiah, he doesn't even remember
That's the blessing.
That's the blessing. He does not remember. And we went through this for 3 years. But they made that hospital, they made his process as if it wasn't.
Wow.
Like, he was excited to go to the hospital. And I'm sitting here like, no, we don't want to be here.
Oh.
And he's like, well, I'm not ready to go. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to go home. Because he gets to pick up the phone and order whatever he wants. Can I have a pizza, please? You know, they have a playroom for the kids. And it is so cute. You see the kids, they have their little poles with the IV bag hanging.
Yeah.
And, you know, they get in, they call it their, you know, their medicine. And they just going in there and they playing.
But let me
no
tell you
care
what
in the world.
I appreciate about that is, as you said, you didn't tell everybody that he had cancer because you wanted to share with people that you knew were praying.
Yes.
Totally get that.
Yes.
What I appreciate about the experience that they created is children should not feel embarrassed because I have a medical diagnosis.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like, I go back to Gabriel. Gabriel goes in a room, he plays, he does whatever, and Gabriel doesn't consider, oh, I'm autistic, and, you know, the world says that Gabriel
The
is
labels.
the labels.
Yes.
He is Gabe. He shows up as Gabe, and he enjoys life.
Yes.
He doesn't get treated differently and doesn't expect. He's 4.
He's 4.
Right.
He shouldn't be treated differently.
And I love that Isaiah got that same type of treatment.
They had put on a carnival for the kids.
Oh my gosh.
Where they could dump the physicians.
Now let me ask you this. So family, what, because you shouted out Dita, you know, one of our spiritual sisters.
Yes.
What did your family do to help with this journey?
My family is my rock. My parents, my siblings. When I tell you my sister showed up and showed out.
Ooh.
When she came, when I called her on the way to the hospital that night, she met me there. And she stayed there. And she stayed with Isaiah when we were in the conference room. And the look on my face, she knew something wasn't right.
Yeah.
And so she just stayed with him to keep him calm while I had to, you know, walk away and have my fit, so to speak.
Yeah.
And once she realized, once we shared with her, you know, what was going on, she took care of the other 2 siblings that were at the house. She made sure they got to school. When I tell you, the next day, my sister showed up with a wagon filled with snacks, filled with clothes, filled with everything we needed so that we didn't need to want for anything. And what was so funny?
You gotta plug a name.
Sherilyn.
Hey,
Call her Sherry. My sister Sherilyn. I mean, when she's a person that always have had my back, no matter what.
Yeah.
And I remember, and this is funny, she said, I feel a little closer to my brother-in-law. She said, I don't have to grab his underwear and everything. and we didn't even ask her to do this.
Oh, so when people ask, what can I do, is what?
When people ask, what can I do, it's, you know, you don't know what you need in that moment. So she literally just brought everything that she could think of.
Wow.
That we may be interested in doing. Whether it's to read a book, she had it. She walked down the hall with one of their red wagons. The hospital had the wagon.
Really had a wagon?
Yeah.
I love me some her.
She had a wagon filled with stuff. Mm-hmm.
So, fast forward me, because now, Isaiah, like we said, you just turned 19.
Yes.
You just graduated. The last one has graduated.
Yes.
Shout out to all the graduates.
Cum laude.
Cum laude.
Yes.
Hey, nephew.
Yes.
So he has graduated. And what has this journey looked like? Because that's 4. He's now 19.
Yes.
3 years of treatment. So what, did you guys have to make any changes after treatment is over? Fast forward me through that time frame of 3 to now, I guess 7 to 19. Like, what does life now look like for you guys in that that journey? What did that journey look like? Did you have to do anything differently, or?
Right after treatment, he was around 7, a little over 7 years old. Again, he doesn't remember.
Wow.
So it to him it's as if it never happened. So he only lives it through my stories.
Ooh.
And he may ask me a question, and I'll tell him the story. There is no shame. There is no embarrassment. He's grateful, of course, but again, he doesn't remember it at all.
Wow.
So there wasn't anything that we had to really change.
Okay.
I think it's more so just keep moving forward.
Okay.
And just looking to see, okay, well, God kept me here for a reason.
Yes. Indeed.
So let me figure out what that reason is so that I can live out my life purpose.
Whew, that's deep. That's deep, great. Do you guys have to do medical checkups, or when that was over, do you have to do any follow-up checkups in between? You do, okay.
So they have this program, again, in conjunction with Children's Health Care, they have the AFLAC blood disorder.
Y'all have heard of AFLAC.
Yeah,
hey, Tommy. Hey, Mother Lolita. Okay.
Another shout out, those nurses and doctors, oh my gosh, they are amazing. So what they do, of course, after all of the treatments are over, then they transfer you over to what they call the Cancer Survivor Program.
Okay.
And so that is something that we were told that he would need to do for the rest of his life. And it's basically a checkup just to make sure that everything is still going well with your health, making sure that there's no reoccurrence. And what they told me before we even got to that stage was typically after all of the treatments are completed, if he's not diagnosed again within the first 5 years after treatment, it's pretty much considered cured.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Amen. I know. And so for him, it's been 11 years.
11 years.
And so we still go every year, and they just want to make sure that everything is okay. Because what I did not know either, starting going through this journey, is that the medication that they give you could have what they call side effects later in life.
Ah, like a delayed.
Delayed.
Okay.
Yes, delayed side effects later in life.
Wow.
And so that's what we're doing now. And so I asked. So we were there not too long ago, actually, and I said, "Isn't he a bit too old to be here with all these kids?" And they said, "No, he'll still come here to 21.
Wow.
And then we'll transition him over to Emory, and he just needs to continue to follow for the rest of his life." But so far, he's doing great.
He's doing great.
He's doing great.
Man, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, look, let me tell you, you are you're a mama, and I do want to just pull for just a minute.
Okay.
Because you said, your sister was there when you needed to kind of have your fit, right? As a mom, you talked about initially how that journey was of faith coming into like this crossroad of like when nobody else could do it but God. So knowing that you went through that journey, how has that shaped the way you look at life being the parent of a cancer survivor?
Differently.
Okay.
Yeah. Because kind of going back to what you said earlier, when you said your sister Tanetta was going from room to room, and then until somebody stopped her and just wanted to talk.
Right.
We don't know how much time we have left here.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
Ooh,
and so you really want
Carol.
to appreciate literally every single moment.
Every moment.
Not just the day, but every single moment.
Yeah.
That God graces us to have every day.
Every day.
It increased my level of wanting to know.
To know what?
So it increased my level of wanting to know whatever it is that I'm in at the moment. So like going back during that time, I wanted to know more about his diagnosis.
Okay.
In my life today, I want to know more about finances. So it's just increased my level of wanting to know, like whatever I'm in, whatever moment that God has me in, I'm curious.
Curious.
The word the other day. I'm curious and I want to know more.
Whew.
So going back to when he was diagnosed, once I realized, okay, God, there's nothing I can do. I have to put it in your hands.
Yes.
But then once I accepted the diagnosis, now I'm going to educate myself. The student came out.
The student came out.
The student came out. And so I still have that student mentality to this day about anything that God has me in.
And I've watched you. I have watched you. Because we worked together at one point, and even outside of working together, we do stuff. This is my travel. Look, you can't travel. This is when I normally travel. I travel with her. She'll be like, "We got to get up early." Why? You're on vacation.
Look, those schedules on vacation.
But we already, we got to. Okay, we got to hit this concert. We gonna make sure we go here. But outside of that, we travel well together.
Yes.
So. But I've literally watched you be a student, whether it's something at work or it's something because you are a part of a sorority. You want to plug your sorority?
Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
You are a part of a sorority. You do financial because you talked about, your clients outside of work.
Yes, outside of work.
You also service people.
I do financial literacy.
Financial literacy.
Yes.
And getting life insurance.
Life insurance, investments, anything that's around the finances, that's my thing. I feel like that is my purpose here on life.
Your purpose.
Honestly.
Now, can I, and if it's not a space, you said, and I respect this space.
Okay.
I remember your why behind getting into the whole financial literacy. 7.
It doesn't seem like it.
It doesn't. 7 years ago, my sister went through this journey where your father was diagnosed, and he transitioned.
He did, yes.
And I remember during that space, you said something a couple of months afterwards. You said, I had this policy in place. There were some things that I did financially. There was some things that my dad put in place. So when we were in those, because you talked about being in the moment.
Yes.
When we were in the moment with him, in those days of transition, we didn't have to worry about this and this and this.
Right.
And that sparked inside. I remember the conversation.
Yes.
You said, I want other people.
People need to know.
People
need to know.
And have the beauty of
Yes.
the space of being with your loved one without your mind and your pocketbook and wallet
Yes.
being over here. But you get, because you've already you've handled business.
Taking care of it. Absolutely.
So share with us whatever you feel comfortable, because I know that wasn't a part of our. That's why I asked if it was okay. But
yes, I appreciate you asking.
Yeah.
But no, it's important. And again, it's Life Insurance Awareness Month as well.
Yeah.
But during that time, my father always had life insurance, and he's the one that introduced life insurance to me. So in my younger years, in my early 20s, well, actually, I think it was around my mid to late 20s. He asked me if I had life insurance, and I was married at the time. And I said, no, what is that? And then he explained it to me. And I remember going, oh my God, I don't have any life insurance. I don't want anybody having to, go into debt trying to finalize my services.
Yeah.
So literally, the very next weekend, I came back to Georgia to get life insurance because he said the agent was going to be there for my mom. And so I got the life insurance, and then I went on to live my life.
Yeah.
Well, in 2017, when he passed away, I remember saying to myself, oh, wow, I have to update my beneficiaries because he was one of my beneficiaries. And I called my financial coach, and I remember I was actually at an accounting conference. And so in the middle of the sessions, I said, I need to do this. I forgot. So I called her and I told her what happened. And she said, okay, well, we can definitely get that taken care of. And then out of nowhere, she didn't ask. She was just giving me her condolences. And I told her, I said, everybody needs to hear about this.
Wow.
Because one of the things, when you go to the funeral homes, let me tell you, it's expensive. It's expensive.
And of course, I've had people transition.
Right. And
I remember you telling me the dollar amount.
Yes. And so the thing about it is, even though you have loved ones to pass away, but if you're not in the seat, actually at the table,
making the
decisions,
yeah,
you're clueless. It's expensive.
Whew.
And so I just remember going, wow, people really need to hear this.
Yeah.
So I had reached out to my parents' pastor at the time, and I asked if I could come and just share our journey with the congregation. He said yes. So as I was on the phone with my financial coach, I shared that with her. And I said, can I just get some brochures or something? I can just throw some business your way. She was like, yeah, sure. I can either drop it in the mail or you want to come by, pick it up. And I said, well, just put it in the mail. And then I said, she didn't prompt, she didn't ask. It was literally the Spirit going, speak.
Wow.
And I said, to be honest with you, I want to show people how to do more than just life insurance. Like, I want people to understand the importance of saving money, how to get out of debt. Seriously, as a nation, but more specifically as a culture,
yes,
we are in so much unnecessary debt.
Yeah.
And it's based on the decisions that we make.
Yeah.
And a lot of those decisions are emotional.
Yes.
Or just don't know or understand the contracts that we're getting in. And so I wanted to teach people how to get out of debt. I wanted to also just show people how to start saving for their retirement.
Yeah.
I wanted to help people to understand the importance of investing. My dad had kind of already shared a lot of that with me as a younger, in my younger years. Like, he taught me how to do my taxes at 16. That was a mistake on his part, because once I realized, I could make more money. You can't claim me anymore.
Let me find you another dependent.
But
wow.
So she said to me, she said, well, that's what I do. I said, wait, what?
Wow.
I thought you just did life insurance. She's like, no. So she and I started connecting, and so I partnered with her. And let me tell you, I enjoy having conversations with people. Just, educating people. Because for me, it's not about the money for me. It's about making people aware and understanding the importance of having your financial house in order. And having life insurance is definitely one of them.
Oh, God.
That's the foundation of your financial house. If you don't have that, everything else falls. Because if something happens to you, what's your family going to do?
Right. When you and I were talking, you made a statement, and I never thought about it. Hey, Minister Carol Moore, I sit on the side of the HR seat. So when people, call and had a bereavement, well, I look up the policy, and I'm like, based off of the relative or relationship that you had to that person. It's a friend, it may be one day. If it's, a spouse or a child, companies set aside so many days.
Yes.
You made a statement. You said, but after you get the 3 days or the 5 days or the week or 2 weeks, but if you're not ready to go back, if you're mentally and emotionally not ready, because you're still grieving, but you got a 9-to-5 job
that's saying, hey, you need to get back on this
right
spot.
And all jobs, so let me shout out the employers that do this. All jobs don't even acknowledge bereavement, right? It's not a mandatory.
That is true.
So some jobs do, but after they, because they can only afford you to be out, because they got to do that times however many people work there, right? So I get it, but having your financial house in order, being able to say, I need to take another week without pay, because you got your financial house, so that you can grieve, so that you can get in the grief share, so that you can get in whatever programs. You can just sit by yourself. I done did all of this run, and service is over, and I need to just find me, and where am I at in this space? And having your finances in order.
Absolutely.
It helps.
It does, because then you don't have to worry about your bills being paid.
Yeah.
If you can be able to skip a paycheck or two, if it gives you that extra week or that extra month to be able to collect yourself. Before you go back into the office. Because think about it, it's someone that is really close to you, whether it's a child, a parent, a sibling, your spouse. When after the funeral is over, and then and that's usually on a Saturday, right?
Yes.
And then you got to show up at work on Monday? How does that work? And everyone, some people don't mind going back because it gives them something else to focus on. But then there's others who may not be able to.
Yeah.
And so it's really important to have that, what I call the emergency fund.
The emergency fund.
Use that as your emergency fund. Having your finances together to where you can take care of your bills for at least a month.
Yeah.
And don't have to worry about a paycheck.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, gosh.
Yes.
Sister? Y'all, we wanted, and thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely, because you had some things, and I told Chris, get your phone. I said, there may be some things that I don't cover, and if there's something that you have that you wanted to make sure.
It's mental.
What
I got
you
it in
got?
my head. The last thing that I wanted to talk about in regards to Childhood Cancer Awareness Month is if you find yourself or someone else that you're close to that that's going through that, you have to become an advocate for your child.
Okay, explain that.
Let me explain.
Whew.
There are times where, as individuals, you go to the doctor, whatever the doctor tells you, you accept it, and you do whatever they tell you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're professionals. They've gone through training. They know they know their stuff. But as a parent, when your child doesn't really have a voice or doesn't really understand what's happening to them, you have to be that child's voice. And so being an advocate for your children or for a loved one, whether it's an aging parent, you have to stay on top of everything. And so educating yourself about what's going on with their child, but also using your common sense and your own personal knowledge and actually knowing your child or how your parent is or a sibling.
Yeah.
Because there was a time where I don't call it as a challenge. I just kind of brought to the doctor's attention from a logical standpoint, it didn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it was more so learning to speak up, and he listened.
Ooh.
He wasn't intimidated. They didn't feel disrespected.
Yeah.
They actually enjoyed the fact that I came in asking questions. I actually had a doctor say that to me. He asked me, "Are you in the medical profession?" I said, "No. I'm just reading and learning as much as I can.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor, and I respect the profession, but I want to know more."
Yeah.
So every time they gave us I call them drug sheets, so prescriptions. So any new medication, they knew to give her the drug sheet because she wants to know everything about this drug, the side effects, what's the drug for, what's the dose he needs to be on, and all these different things. I actually had a doctor that says, "Thank you. We appreciate people asking questions," because they said most parents don't ask. They just accept what they tell them and keep it going.
I remember one time you shared with me that there was a prescription they put Isaiah on, and he actually was having an allergic reaction, but they had to because of the insurance company.
Because of the insurance company.
Absolutely. And the only way he could get the other medication
was to
show that he actually had a reaction.
That was the hardest thing to ever watch your child to go through. Yes, they actually had to give him the drug that they knew he would be allergic to.
Hey, Sean.
They knew that. But they had to, so that the insurance companies would approve the drug that wasn't FDA approved.
FDA approved, yeah. Wow.
That was the hardest thing to do.
Whew. So being an advocate, being educated, being the voice for your child, or as you said, a loved one that's going through something.
Yes.
And a lot of times, I love that you just said that, we advocate through our emotions. Don't do this, you don't know this, why do you handle them like, but we don't have the education
to back it up. Yes.
So being able to sit down with the doctor and say, well, this,
Yes.
I'm sure they would welcome that.
Absolutely.
Because you are a partner in that person's well-being. They need it.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
And that's what I love about children. It's not like we know and you don't. They want you to partner with them.
Children's Healthcare in Atlanta, for those of you that aren't in Georgia.
Yes.
Yeah.
They want you to know.
Wow.
They want you to be a part of the conversation.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you to do this. As we said, guys, thank you. We're in our goal. For those of you that are just chiming in, this is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and gold is the color. So from the e-church perspective, I'm going to ask at some point in this month, would you pop on your goal?
Yes.
And would you not just wear it, but would you share with people why you have that gold on? There is a child, because here's the thing that I'm always mindful of, especially when it comes to our young people. You have some children that don't have parents that are advocates.
That's right. That is true.
You have some children that are living in circumstances where, you know what, I'm with grandma. I'm being, my parents aren't taking care of me. I'm living with auntie or big mom, or I might be in foster care. And just being able to represent, getting the awareness out there is a reminder. We say it, but our children need people to be their voice. Our children need people that are saying, hey, I see you and I'm standing with you.
Yes.
And I got you.
Yes.
Okay?
I'm glad that you said that, because sometimes the kids feel, Isaiah was young.
Yeah.
So it didn't really impact him much as far as his own personal feelings. But there are a lot of kids who are older. They're having to go to school.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
And so if they see that other kids or the staff members also are their advocate, or understand what they're going through, whether they're showing their gold, or saying a kind word, or just reminding them that they are who they are, you know, goes a long way.
Yeah.
So a couple of things that I know through my sorority we did was we did hats for the kids.
Hats for the kids.
Hats for the
because
kids.
you know how children are, especially today. And I remember when one of my family members was going through, and I keep saying family members because it's still sensitive for the family to just come out and say. So one of the family members, and I remember that person's mom cut their hair because she had lost her daughter had lost her
hair.
And it was like, oh my good, and it was her saying, I'm in it with you. So you guys did hats.
We did hats. So that the kids could feel a level of comfort and not shame. So that they could put hats on.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we did hats, absolutely. Like there's so much that you can do.
Yeah.
That, we actually donated like a wagon full.
Shirley's wagon.
A wagon full of hats that we.
Wow.
And actually, I had Isaiah and we actually took it to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta to deliver to them. And so there's so many things that you could do. Yes.
So you're making me think, hey guys, now let's go beyond the gold. You just pushed me up,
Okay.
I like to up it. I know some people, we just blessed last month a lot of educators, right? I know a lot of teachers. And until we were preparing, literally I was like going through the calendar, and it wasn't until a couple of weeks ago I even knew that there was a month set aside for childhood cancer awareness. I'm familiar with October because it's out there, right? I am familiar with October. Get your pink, I got it.
Cancer.
And the breast cancer, right? But I was not familiar with gold and childhood cancer awareness month. It's a lot of people that don't know either.
Yes.
So I am now going to be challenged. I'm going to reach out to those teachers that we bless.
Okay.
And I'm going to reach out and ask them, what is your school doing with childhood cancer awareness?
Oh, that's amazing.
For the month.
I think that would help them be like, they can be creative.
They can be creative, and maybe they could do a gold week. Football, they do the pink out day.
So maybe they could do a gold out
Maybe they could do a gold out day.
That would be cool.
Yeah, so that's going to be my, I'm going to,
like that.
Yeah. So I'm asking you guys, thank you, there's a love in the chat. I want you guys to think about it. It could be sitting down and having a conversation. Maybe it's not cancer. Maybe it isn't autism. But it's something that you just thought about as you listen to this, and you're like, you know what? People go through stuff, and some of the words we use aren't kind.
Yes.
Or we don't really know what we don't know, but we know a family member just got diagnosed with this, or they're going through this.
Yes.
I don't have the finances to help, but I can say, hey, do you need me to cook? Do you need me to run by the house? Do you need me to hit the grocery stores? Anything I can bring?
Absolutely. Anything would help.
Anything would help.
Yeah, it does.
And sometimes, as you said, your sister just sat. She sat in the room to give you time to go process stuff.
Yes, she did.
To be the person that says, I am a safe place for you to process stuff. And then I'm going to go back to the first thing.
Okay.
Maybe we're the ones that can say, look, there's some things that happen in life, and it doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It's just a part of this journey that we walk on. through the path of life.
Yes.
But I can put my faith in a place where your faith may not be there.
Stand in the gap.
I can stand in the gap.
Yes, absolutely.
You can count on me to pray for you.
Absolutely.
You can count on me. And if you don't want to tell nobody,
it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But your stuff is safe with me.
Yes.
I got you. Oh my Lord.
Yes.
Wow. Guys, well, this has been, Creek, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
This has been our step back to say, you know what? It's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month and life insurance.
And life insurance.
Yeah, one of the things we all can do is get a financial checkup.
That's right.
Right?
Absolutely.
Lucretia Chapman, and I'm doing a selfless plug. She didn't know I was going to do it, and I can hear it now. Lucretia this has been for years and still is my financial coach. Ooh, I don't know what makes her do that. I don't know, but you better. That is for you, girl. I don't know what made her do it. Go on Facebook. She has been my financial coach. She has been the one to talk to me and have tough conversations. She knows the balance on my mortgage, on my car note. She knew it on all them credit cards. She would look at the bank statements. She knew if I had money saved up for a rainy day. I trusted her and never heard anything repeated. Never did she ever make me feel shamed, but she did hold me accountable.
Absolutely.
Right?
I want to see you win.
What?
I want to see you win. I want to see all of us win.
Yeah.
But we don't have to live in financial bondage.
We don't. We don't.
It's a choice. We don't.
Oh, gosh. So I encourage you, if you are in need, reach out to her. She is on Facebook. She's a member of the E-Church.
Yes.
And she is also, for those of you that have been wondering, who's that voice? She is our intercessory prayer leader. She went through training.
I did.
And she always, I'll be a student, so she went through the training.
And it was amazing. I learned so much in that training.
Oh, God, amen. She went through the training, and she prays, and she leads with scripture. Hey, treasurer, daddy just joined. Hey there, daddy. She provides a scripture. So for those of you who have been like, who is the person that's been praying for me? It's been her. Every time you send in a prayer request, she has been the person that's been reaching out to leave you those prayers. And what I want to say to you is thank you, because they said, heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Yes.
And oftentimes what people don't realize is the folks behind the scenes are going through and dealing with stuff and processing stuff.
Yes. Right?
And as your friend, I want to say thank you. You have been like Daddy, you just joined for a reason. My dad one time, her birthday in February, Daddy ever tell her, her birthday in February, mine is in March.
10 days apart.
10 days apart. My daddy should know this. I'm just messing with your daddy. So we took a picture years ago. We was out at a restaurant. We took a picture for her birthday. And he was like, happy birthday, da-da-da-da-da, daughter, you look good. And I was like, that's not me. So you done gave, look, you have a daddy in heaven. You got a daddy here. Yeah. But you have been and continue to be a sister to me. We not only travel together, but we have tough conversations.
We do.
We talk about
everything.
Everything. Right? And I want to thank you, because in the midst of that, these last few months, you have been holding it down at the house, holding it down at work. You have been the person that has been the go-to for so many people. And in the midst of that, concerning the assignment of praying for others, you've not dropped the ball.
That's all God.
I know.
When I say that's all God,
it is God.
That is all God.
So I thank you. I sincerely thank you for all of your prayers. I thank you. And she's the type, she ain't gonna just pray like, I was like, Creeps, just she was like, no, I got to look up the scripture, I got to write it down. So she not just whipping out a prayer, because she literally Somebody needs prayer with healing or bereavement or a child, or she looks up the information so she can pray and give you a prayer that connects back to God's word.
Absolutely.
So thank you for putting in the work, because many of us pray, but you put in the work to pray a prayer that will availeth much. Thank you. Thank you for your courage, because it takes courage. Because there are some people that I know right now that are not going to share, and I understand. My family went through this. My child went through this. I went through this. Thank you, because you're giving somebody courage today, somebody an awareness today. I can do some things differently.
Absolutely.
I can prepare differently.
Prepare differently.
And even with the curveball, talking about dad. Thank you for saying yes to that journey.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the many people that you now have got insured and have educated.
That's my purpose.
That's your purpose.
That's my purpose.
So you took a painful moment and made it purposeful.
It's a testimony.
It's a testimony.
You gotta go through a test to have one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is, you guys know, you know how we do stuff. She gonna get me, and I'm so glad I have witnesses.
Oh, Lord.
I'm
Let me
so
just say this. Thank you for this opportunity.
You are welcome.
And I consider you a sister because you treat me as one. So, yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Look, we ain't gonna be messing up makeup.
I know, right?
Yeah, we paused.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. Look, how your back is doing?
We're not gonna talk about that.
I knew I could transition that. She's a Falcon. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how that happened.
Because I'm from Atlanta.
Because she from Atlanta. Oh, yeah. And then she go to your rich, and we let you live here. That's how she do it.
Correct.
Yeah.
I keep trying to tell her I-20 West is that way.
Don't do that. Okay, we can get our tears together now.
I-20 West.
Look, so what I want to do,
Okay.
and you may not say no, because I already know, I know Lucretia.
Don't ask me to sing.
You don't have to sing.
Thank God.
Okay, all right. So what I am going to do, I am sponsoring you. For the last few months, you have been saying that I want to just take a trip by myself. I want to steal away, and I want to just go somewhere by myself.
Okay.
And just sit in a space.
Okay.
And just chill. So the church isn't doing it. Oh, I'm glad the treasurer on. Dad, it's not coming out church budget.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
It's not coming out your budget either.
Yes, it is. So, because you've taught me financial literacy. And yeah, you know I don't spend what I don't have. And you know I manage my money. So I am sending you for 3 nights. 2 days, 3 nights, however that works. You get to be there for 2 nights. You got to check out on the 3rd day like Jesus rose in the morning. Somewhere before 11 o'clock.
I got to raise up and leave.
You got to raise it. That's that rise up Falcon. But I am sending you as my friend. You tell me where you want to go.
Okay, now the tears are really starting to come.
No.
No, ma'am.
So, yes. So you have until the end of this week to tell me where you want to go. And I am sending you, so I will pay for your hotel accommodations for 2 nights, 3 days, so that you can steal away. I want you to now go sit in a place where you can be restored, where you can be refreshed, where you can be renewed.
Oh, wow.
And I know you can afford to do it.
Because I'm sitting here going, she ain't finna pay for this.
Yes. I know you can afford to do it.
Yes.
But what you've taught me as my friend and as my sister is that we have to also model that it's all right to give, but God loves us enough to also be able to receive.
That is so hard.
So I'm going to give, you're going to receive. And you are going to steal away before this year is out.
Okay.
And do that for free. You're welcome.
Oh, wow. Okay. I don't know how to.
You said it. All right.
Okay.
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 So.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Y'all, it's nothing like having someone in your world that you can do life with. And I'm grateful. I am surrounded with so many people. But I thank you that you're one of those people.
Aww.
I trust you. I love you. You are loyal. You're faithful. You're a great friend. So thank you for not only coming on to share, but thank you for all of the times you shared with me. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Guys, we are closing out this live. I pray that your Saturday is absolutely amazing. I pray that there's something that was shared on today that you will be able to take into the life of a child or to some people that work with children, that you'll be able to take it even into your personal space and say, I can do this, didn't think about this, let me try this, let me revise this. I pray that there's something meaningful that you got out of here. And again, this month is about celebrating our children. So a shout out to all of the babies that are going through chemo and radiation and treatment. You're not alone. We love you. Shout out to all of the survivors.
Absolutely.
We love you. Shout out to the caregivers. Yes, the parents, and to the staff, the hospital, the social workers, to all of these people in between.
Yes.
As my pastor would say, to Lottie Dottie and everybody. Bishop Victor Lamontae, that's yours. I'm giving you credit. Shout out to each and every one of you for your contribution to making this month one that we become not only aware, but we do something about it.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to give this last plug right here because I'm not on behalf of the church. This is a year, no matter who you're voting for, that you better vote.
Vote. Definitely.
Well, we talked today about insurance.
Yes.
The cost,
yes,
being in a position to afford to be able to do some things. There are some things on the ballot this year that were in this conversation. Vote.
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 Absolutely.
Make your voice be, can I use your word advocate?
Absolutely.
Be an advocate for yourself. And for those of you, because I realize we're international, that live in the United States, be an advocate for the world that you want to live in and that you want your family to be a part of. Vote, vote, vote. Do not sit at home and think it doesn't matter.
That's right.
And I said no matter who you vote for, because that is really, I'll be honest, that's a part of being a citizen of the United States.
Absolutely.
Vote.
Vote.
Right? All right. That's
Check
it.
to make sure that your voter registration is still active.
Oh, yes. Yes. Because
make
sure you're still active to vote, that you're still registered. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. All right. And you're working the polls.
Yes.
Yeah!
November 5th.
Yes, 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 yes. All right, y'all. So we got to get up. Vote, vote, vote. Thank you, Minister Carol. We're going to get up off out of here. Y'all, we love you. We hope that you've enjoyed this special little space and time. Love you, babies that are watching. Babies, 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 babies that are cancer survivors or that are going through treatment. We love you. We are standing with you. We are your advocates. We are your prayer warriors. And we want you to know that this is a journey that you're going to go through, but by God's faith and our faith partnered with his faith, you're going to go through it. You're coming out on the other side. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
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 All right, y'all. Bye-bye.